Now recognize Mr. Finstad from Minnesota for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for holding this important subcommittee hearing today, and thank you to our witnesses for taking time to be with us. Over the past 4 years, small businesses across our country have been struggling to keep their doors open with the impacts of record high inflation, supply chain disruptions, and burdensome regulations hindering their growth. I've heard firsthand from small businesses across my district about the impact that they have felt over the last few years here and what it's meant to their businesses and opportunities or lack of opportunities across southern Minnesota. So with that being said, I want to go to Mr. Ortiz. As President and CEO of the Job Creators Network, you know the important role the SBA plays in supporting small business owners. One of the things that I've seen in past experience working in federal government is the ability to meet the customer's needs, and that's usually a relationship-based, face-to-face, how can I help you kind of situation. And so I'm really happy to hear that Administrator Loeffler has returned the SBA to in-person work. And so just want to know from you, do you believe this move will improve the services at SBA?
Congressman, thank you for the question. I believe the face-to-face is critical for the interaction for small business owners for their success. I still would say that we have to get more people out to the field, to the resources where the small business owners are. It's great that there are some small businesses here in the D.C. area serving the community and serving Congress, but that's not where the bulk of our small businesses are. It's out in the field. It's in Pella, Iowa, in Portland, Oregon. It's all across the country. That's where they need to be, and that's where the resources need to be allocated. And so I think it's a great step in the right direction, but I think we need to go further, and we need to reallocate those resources out to the fields.
Thank you for that. And all I would say is preach. Keep preaching. And I represent a district of 21 counties, pretty rural, southern Minnesota, and a lot of times these counties feel like they're flyover land for organizations like SBA. And so I completely agree with you. Moving a little bit, in February, I was proud to reintroduce for the second time the House-passed Prove It Act. And the Prove It Act, it received the Job Creators Network endorsement. And this bill would give our small businesses a voice in the regulatory process as they work to serve their communities and pursue the American dream. What impact, Mr. Ortiz, do you think that the passage of this legislation would have on small businesses in navigating the regulatory environment?
Thank you again for the question, Congressman. This is a game changer for small businesses, no doubt about it. And we're glad to see that Senator Ernst also introduced a companion legislation in the United States Senate on this. This is critical. I think for too long, agencies have been given a pass in terms of trying to do what they're supposed to do, which is show the impact of small businesses on regulations. Too many waivers have been signed to basically say, no, it's actually fine. And small businesses have been hurt all along the way. They don't have the resources to come and bring all their lawyers and, 12 lawyers and everything else that they need at the end of the legislative process to try to challenge stuff and go to the Supreme Court. They don't have the resources to do it. They're trying to run their businesses 24/7. And so having the opportunity to, finally force agencies to actually consider the effect of regulation on small business is critical. And having the opportunity to have a seat at the table at the beginning of the process rather than at the end of the process is absolutely critical. Again, this is a game changer. And I think we need to do everything we can to make sure that it passes quickly, swiftly, and in this Congress.
I appreciate those comments, and I couldn't agree more with you. It is, really a dereliction of duty from Congress because we pass these good intended laws. We leave it up to the regulatory state to create all the hoops and loops and bells and whistles and the rules and regulatory climate that our business has to live under with no opportunity to weigh in on, wait a minute, this is going to impact us. And to your point, small businesses don't have stables of lawyers and compliance officers. Right. And so giving them more power in the regulatory process is something I'm going to work hard for. So I appreciate your support on that. One last question here for Mr. Gutierrez. As Missouri's SBDC director, you more than likely have a great pulse for what impacting small businesses across your state. How has the regulatory environment impacted small businesses in your community, and what can we do here in Congress to ensure Main Street businesses have the ability to grow and prosper?
Sure. One big topic for a lot of small business, well, for most small businesses, has been the Corporate Transparency Act that was introduced, I believe it was last year, and then rescinded and then paused and going back and forth. That's some very, very tough situations.
Gentleman's time has expired.